everyone, and welcome to PSBN's flagship show, Pretend Football Now. My name is Syke Manders, and with me, as always, is Mal Padeiros. And Mal, what a crazy couple of weeks it has been.
Indeed, and we are here to share with you 2 fantastic weeks of Pretend Football from the NJCFFL, filled with trials and tribulation and some of the most fantastic and depressing football that I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely. You know what? It's going to be entertaining, it's going to be great, and it's going to be a little bit scary. So let's get underway. Another week, another game. It's another edition of Syke's Scout Bowl. And this week, week number 3, we're focusing on the Catskill Cleavers versus Bricktop's Pig Farm. And let me tell you, the Pig Farm ground those slimy, low down, no good, son of a bitch Cleavers into dirt. Bricktop was led to victory by Mike Evans, who scored 26 points, with Jarvis Landry adding 24.5 to that total. The Eagles' defense stonewalled the Cleavers for 17 points in net. They didn't even need Shady McCoy, who sat on the bench. 26 points. They didn't even need him. Well, the Cleavers, on the other hand, were led by Todd, the Southern Dandy Gurley, with a very respectable 20.5 points. I mean, he's a Southern gentleman. As he said, he knows the difference between velvet and silks. Allen Robertson also added a 20.5. And the Bench Blues struck the Cleavers hard with Deshaun Jackson warming the pine for 17.5 points. I don't think he would have made much difference. Bricktop clearly had the stronger team this time around, and America can rejoice in knowing the Cleavers were defeated.
And in a remarkable matchup of veterans in the NJCFFL, the Sharpsville Gravy Legs marched right on down into Hangar 1 and left skid marks all over the field while dominating the Lakehurst Dirigibles 64.5 to a straight abysmal 52.5. Now, the Gravy Legs were led to victory by the Minnesota Viking defense, who dominated their competition for an astounding 29 points. Eddie Lacy added an additional 12.5, but the real story here was what went on the Lakehurst Dirigible sideline. Coach Paul Medeiros couldn't figure out any good combination of players. I mean, they left Dak Prescott with 22 points, and Shepard with 15.5 points, and Doug Baldwin with the highest score of anyone on the roster, 28, all on the bench. And do you know who they started? Do you know? Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, that's right. Ryan Fitzpatrick. 6 interceptions, -7 points, literally sucked all of the helium out of the blimps and drove them to defeat. The Sharpsville Gravy Legs earned this victory this week, and they cruise on back at the top of their division. And Pretend Football fans, we have a amazing interview lined up for you. We have the head coach of the Sharpsville Gravy Legs, Coach Mike Cooter. Mike, how are you doing today?
Hey, Syke and Mal, thanks for having me. Here at Sharpsville, we've seen a few of your episodes, and I just wanted to say we think you're doing the Lord's work there. You and your crew, you're doing an excellent job, and we appreciate it.
And also joining us on the other line is Danny Woodhead. Mr. Woodhead, how are you doing today?
Oh, what up, Syke and Mal? This is D-Dubhead, blazing it from SoCal.
Wow, I'm not sure that Mr. Woodhead should be Should be on camera right now.
Well, he's obviously dealing with an injury, so Coach Cooter, please, the floor is yours.
Hey, Coach! How's it going up there in the booth?
I just want to say, on behalf of myself, the good people of Sharpsville, and the Gravy Leg organization, that we were ill-advised in making you a 2016 draft selection.
Well, is there anything to add to that, Mr. Woodhead?
What a year, huh? What a great game and a half. Scored all my bench points, man, and then triggering the old trick ACL, dude.
A trick ACL? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know what? You know what? No prepared statement. No, you stoner piece of garbage. The next time you find yourself in Sharpsville city limits, I'm sure the Sharpsvillians will take good care of that for you.
Yo, hey, let D-Dubhead lay it out for you, Coach. Like, this whole season, I'm gonna be the thorn in your side. I'm gonna be like the fly in your Chardonnay. I'm gonna be like the one clean man in Sharksville.
Danny, I mean, you seem to be a little hostile towards to Coach Cooter. I mean, is there any particular reason, or the floor is yours, so please go ahead.
You thought you had it in the Rumble, but like your old crusty dead king got tossed out by yours truly, and it looked so good, I ended up on your roster, man. Any minute now, old Doc Fung is gonna be calling back and let me know how many games it'll kill you to use D-Dubhead against a primetime team. Yup, it's gonna be good times, man. I'm gonna be riding the pine and screwing the line. Hey Doc. What? ACL? What do you mean the whole year? Oh man, it's so harsh. It's way harsh, dude. Aww.
Well, there you have it. An emergency call-in from world-renowned doctor, Dr. Fung, letting poor Danny Woodhead know that he is not just suffering from a trick ACL.
Well, that certainly is unfortunate for Danny Woodhead. Maybe fortunate for you, Coach. Who knows? I guess that's how the cookie crumbles here.
Yeah. Would you have anything else to add?
You know what? It is my distinguished honor to announce formally the Sharpsville Gravy Legs have come to terms and are releasing Mr. Daniel Woodhead from his position as running back number 2. Viva la Sharpsville.
Well, aren't you lucky? You're in for a second serving of Sykes' Shining Scalpel. Division rivals face off as the Not Very Goods visit the Luxacs in an amazingly mediocre game. Not a lot happened, but there were some high points. Let's go over them. The Not Very Goods were led by Derek Carr, who hoisted the entire team upon his mighty Atlesian shoulders for 23 points. The rest of his roster, completely barren. The Luxacs were led by Jameis Wilson with 10 points, but the bench blues struck hard, leaving Steve Smith Sr. on the bench. Steve Smith Sr. was the Gorgon of this matchup. Were he in play, this would have gone an entirely different way. But instead, the Luxac shriveled and let Dan the Beast Swanson go battering by. But that's how it goes in pretend football, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, everyone here at PSBN is very, very excited to bring to you a remarkable interview this week. It is an interview with Connor Barth, free agent kicker in the NJCFFL. So, Connor, how are you doing today?
It's Lord Barth Vader.
Right, Lord Barth.
Vader!
Lord Barth Vader, sure. All right, many people feel kickers are slightly overrated. I mean, what do you have to say about that?
The power to run across the end zone is insignificant to the power of a kicker.
Sure. I mean, that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. I mean, many teams use their punters to kick off at the start of the game and at halftime and after all scores.
Most teams don't know the power of the kick side.
I can't help but think that you're being just a little too gung-ho about your particular role on any given roster.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Well, I'm certain if you keep that up, you'll never find your way off the waiver wire. Now, week 4 was an absolute matchup for the ages. Team Giggity Giggity, needing a victory and sensing weakness in the Flapjacks, were usurped in the very last possible instance, losing to the Flapjacks 92-90 and 1/2. A 1.5 point difference between these two teams. Many would have thought that Giggity Giggity could have ridden the spectacular performance of Fuller, who scored 29.5 points, and also the newly acquired Greg Olson added 18 more to really pace the team. They looked to be unstoppable, and certainly Coach John Crawford did everything that he could do to mess it up. I mean, Mason Crosby was in the starting lineup on a bye. Yet he still manages to come away with the victory. Jordan Reed scored a remarkable 23.5 points from the tight end position. And Frank Gore, that old Frank Gore, scored 16.5 points from the running back position. Now, it really does blow the mind that a coach that couldn't bother to make it to the draft and doesn't even bother to look at his lineup could even continue to dominate the league, but he has. He won 2 remarkable games this week. I mean, you know what they always say. No effort, no commitment, no problem.
Well, that was an incredible couple of weeks of pretend football. I'm glad that I'm caught up, Maul. What about you?
I agree. I think that everyone is sitting on the edge of their seats waiting to hear and see just what went on, and I can't thank Connor Barth Vader enough for taking some time out of his very busy schedule to join us.
Certainly thinks a lot of himself, that Barth Vader.
I don't know. I don't understand it. But what can you do?
What can you do? Well, there's one thing that we can do. We can get your word of the weeks.
One of my favorites.
Really?
Head cheese.
Head cheese?
Head cheese. It's delicious.
Oh!
I think it's delicious.
From everybody here at ESPN, this has been Pretend Football. Pretend Football. Now. And 4. In 3, 2, 3. My cat is eating out of the bowl right at this very instant. He chose this very instant to do this. He's just big boned.
That's what they say.
It's just protective karate muscle.
That's what they told me when I was a child.
Right. Okay.
Turned out to be not true.
Not that he stopped eating. Perseus, come on, buddy.